because of the system, the patterns that are happening. They cannot be ignored, and certain things are inevitable if we do not change our behaviors. So as we talk about this debt trap, I want you to think about how dangerous debt can be for your life personally. And so you must understand debt is dangerous because debt can control you. Debt has the ability to control you. It has the ability to manipulate you and control your life. Debt has the ability to dictate your current actions, your behaviors, your mentality. In other words, debt has an effect on your mental health. How many people understand that debt can have an effect on your mentality, your mental health, how you feel when you wake up in the morning, how you handle other people, how you handle yourself, how many hours you put in at work, and why? Debt has the ability to control you and manipulate your behaviors, your actions, and your mentality. And that's why debt is dangerous. That's why we have to really take debt serious and really not gloss over it, but really focus in on what we sign off on, why we're deciding to get in certain things, and can we really handle it? Because we have to understand the long-term consequences, the long-term repercussions of why we choose to accept, receive, sign off on certain debt. What is the benefit? What are the pros? What are the cons? What is the best case scenario? What is the worst case scenario? Because the debt trap can be dangerous. The debt trap has short-term repercussions, and the debt trap has long-term repercussions. Think about what I said. Debt can be dangerous because it can control and manipulate your life. And that's why we have to have this conversation on today. That's why your friends, your family, your loved ones, people that are struggling financially, not only do we need a way out, but we need to shift our mentality. We need to shift on how we think about this thing and how we see this thing. Oh, this is an important conversation on today. It's extremely important. It's not to be ignored at all. Even if you're doing well, there may be someone in your life who's not doing well. And we should all desire to see our circle of people and people that we know, our loved ones, our friends, our family, everyone around us, we should desire that they succeed and be successful. What sense does it make to be the only successful person in your circle? What sense does it make to desire that you are this special person and you're doing so well, but everyone else around you is struggling? And what am I talking about? I'm not saying you should give everyone around you money so that they're doing better. No, you'll sink your own battleship. That's not sustainable. What I'm saying is we have to educate our people, whether it's the older group, whether it's the younger group, especially the younger generation, because they are the generation that is to come. Excited about today, and I need everybody to tune in, especially my women, because all of the statistics where they say 70% of women are living paycheck to paycheck and women are least likely to be prepared for retirement, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And for a number of reasons. Long story short, don't want to tell a sob story, but I grew up in a household where my mother was raising 7 children. She took 2 of them in of her own. My stepfather passed away. She had 2 by him. And so she ended up with taking care of all these children. And my mom had a big heart. She was a registered nurse. And so she naturally was a nurturer and a carer of people. So anyway, so she's left by herself with 7 children to take care of. And so single mother, registered nurse, you already know those nursing hours. Those nurses are ripping and running all the time, right? They're always at the hospital working, putting in these crazy hours. Meanwhile, she did everything she could, but on a single parent income, it was very difficult to maintain. And so there's a lot that we went without, and she did her best to prepare for retirement, but we were paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of times we didn't have enough. And so I grew up in that household. But as I got older, guys, I realized that my mom was limited on the level of financial literacy that she had. And as I got older, she began to ask me about guidance and advice when it came to financial literacy. And that's when I learned there was a gap. And when we talk about generational knowledge, information from one generation to another, there is a huge gap when it comes to financial literacy. And so what you must understand that we have to, how do I put this? We have to transfer knowledge not only to ourselves from where it is accessible, but there is an older generation that does not have certain knowledge and information because it was not given to them, or they didn't have access to technology, or they weren't in certain environments. And we have to open up their eyes. Just like our eyes have to be opened up, we have to help them and open up their eyes and say and shout from the mountaintops, there is a better way to do these things. There is a better option now. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But most importantly, I want to talk about how all of this started and where it came from. Why does America have this mentality that we have to survive, live, and thrive off of debt? Patricia Ford says because they want to keep us in slavery. So yes, debt is, this is so deep. Listen to what I'm saying. Debt is a physical slavery that you find yourself in, but debt can be given to you digitally to keep you enslaved physically. So debt can be given and acquired digitally to keep you enslaved physically. And that's for any culture, any creed, no matter what color you are, you have to understand the dangers of it. Anitra said, shift your mindset. I'm shifting my mindset. Guys, this is important on today. Once again, this message is probably going to be replayed, this message, and some of the things from this is probably going to go viral. That's how important it is. We cannot allow debt to control us and manipulate us. And so sometimes mentally, we put ourselves in debt. Why? Why do we put ourselves in debt? Why does America feel that it's important to share and push debt? Why is that the mentality in America? Well, think about this. Think about this, guys. Sometimes we look and we want to keep up with, of course, we always use the last name. I don't know why. We always say they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. I don't know who the original Joneses were that everybody was trying to keep up with. But whoever this Jones was, this Jones family, they must have been very special because everybody keeps using their name, their phrase. And so I don't know, maybe we should change it to keeping up with the Steels. So anyway, I plan on continuing to be financially well off, financially wealthy. Whatever your last name is, maybe we should use your last name in this example. Whatever your last name, people need to keep up with the Fords. People need to keep up with the Perrys. People need to keep up with the Shermans. Whoever is tuning in on today, definitely happy to have you tuned in to Coach Steele's finance training. But we have to shift our mindset. Sometimes the problem is people are trying to keep up with what they see around them or what society says you're supposed to have, right? Or what society says your life should look like, what society says the car you should drive, what society says the type of chains you should wear, what society says the type of phone you should have. Why? Oh, I don't understand it. Why are we putting phones on credit just to be able to call someone? I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, but it's not worth struggling just to have an upgraded phone so you can still make the same phone call that I'm going to make on a regular phone. There are so many different things that Simon can have or that Simon can go buy, but Coach Steele, there's certain things I'm not going to buy until the time is right. If you're listening in, make sure you type in, I won't buy until the time is right. I won't buy until the time is right. So listen to what I'm saying. We get so desperate and we get so tunnel vision that we think that the only way to execute, the only way to survive, the only way to maintain a status or just maintain survivability in our lives, for our family, for our loved ones, for our household, sometimes we feel the only way to do that is through debt. We have factored in the amount of debt that we have access to into our budget. What am I saying? Some people, they make maybe $4,000 a month, but they have access to $1,000 on their credit card. And what we have done is we are developing a habit of saying, I have $5,000 that I can spend every single month. Why? Because I have $4,000 that I make and I have access to $1,000 on a credit card. That doesn't make sense. We can't keep factoring in what we have access to on the credit card as part of our income. Why? Because if we keep giving ourselves that $1,000 wiggle room, when we do it again another month, now we're $2,000 in debt. Quick, it says, you said shift your mindset. What if I take a PTO day off from work to create financial freedom? A day to create a new system to become debt-free, a day to create a passive income business. My mind is already shifting to break from that cookie cutter propaganda. Don't use big words on my live. Don't try to set me up for a big word. Anyway, propaganda that we were convinced to believe. Oh, I like that. I like that. See? See? Now y'all are tapping in. We're tapping into the creativity. I need everyone to start tapping in to the creativity that they have in their life, because each and every one of us are creative in our own ways. And so I want you all to take the basic knowledge and the cookie cutter thought process that they have put us in, and we got to throw it away. We got to throw it away, and we got to put on something new. Anitra, teacher, baker, party maker. Okay, play on words, just like so sweet and crafty. I like that word. Anyway, she's saying, I'll take a PTO day off. I'm going to have my current job pay me. But while I'm off, I'm not just going to sit back and do nothing. I'm using that time. I'm using that time to develop and create an opportunity or product or service to create passive income so that I can get paid. In other words, I'm going to work on my business. I'm going to take off of my job and stop focusing on managing and maintaining their business. And I'm going to create a business for myself. I'm going to create an opportunity for myself. Why? Because it gives me another opportunity to make money. It gives me another opportunity to make income. And with that, who knows? Now I have my 9-to-5 job. I have my passive income. So no matter what happens on this job over here, no matter if they cut my pay, no matter if they cut me, I have set myself up for success in the future. Because why? I am a Anitra, teacher, baker, party maker. I am so sweet and crafty. Whatever you are, I have created another entity. See how you just become a creator? I've created another entity because what is in me and the gifts and skills that I have, I'm going to use my time wisely and be creative with it to create another project, to create another opportunity. What are we talking about today? We're talking about this debt trap and how to get out. You know, they made a movie called Get Out, and that's what I'm saying with debt trap. We need to get out. Whether someone needs to flash a light in front of you or whatever it is, we need to get out of debt. And I come to flash to wake you up, to let you know that we got to get out of the sunken place. And so debt can be controlling. And let me get into some history here. And make sure that if you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, that you are subscribed on my YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training. And let's see. Let me get there real quick so you can see the title of it. So Coach Steele's Finance Training is the YouTube channel, right? So listen to what I'm saying. America. Why does America have this mentality of debt? I've been doing some research. I've been doing some research about our country. And of course, I love America. So don't think I'm going to bash the country. I'm talking about habits and patterns and how it started at the top and it has trickled down to us. Listen to what I'm saying. So I like when I say listen to what I'm saying and I keep touching my head instead of my ears, but it's cool. I like it. So listen to what I'm saying, y'all. I was doing some research on America, and I'm like, well, when did debt start? Why? When did we start borrowing money in America? And it talks about back in 1760, somewhere in there, during the Revolutionary War. All of my experts and all my history majors, whatever I mess up when I talk about history, you can clean it up in the comment section. So during the Revolutionary War, the American Revolutionary War, when we were fighting against the British, we needed money. Oh, this is so good. So during war, during a time of conflict and strife, we borrowed money from France and the Netherlands. Why? Because we wanted to win the war. We were at war. We were at battle fighting for freedom. And in the fight for freedom, one of the logics we had, one of the mentalities we had was, we need to borrow money so that we can win this fight and have freedom. Now, of course, America, we celebrate 1776 because that was the Declaration of Independence. And so we declared ourselves free. Oh, this is good. This is so good. Because of a mindset and a mentality and a document, they were able to declare themselves free. But the logic was, in order to survive, in order to get to where I'm trying to go, I'm going to borrow to get myself free. Oh, talk to me today. Talk to me today. How many people have had the mindset that there's so much conflict going on, there's so much in my life happening that I got to do this, I got to borrow, I got to make this move, I have to make myself vulnerable financially to get myself free. This is the only way out. And of course, what ended up happening after the Revolutionary War, America continued to get in debt. And the debt continued to grow. And as the debt continued to grow, eventually there's a president named Andrew Jackson that got America completely out of debt. America was in the green. America was in the positive under Andrew Jackson. And then, of course, after that, America continued to climb back into debt. And of course, you see that debt is extremely at an all-time high. But if you look at the history of America, every time there was a war, every time we went into war, every time we went into a battle, we would borrow money and we would get into debt. About the inception of America. The inception of America, 1776, America is free, but they have debt because of violence and because of war, right? Well, in its infancy, in America's infancy, they walk in debt. They carry debt. So now we have debt at its highest, at the government, at the high level. And so we have these people who have come together and decided that we were going to put the country in debt, borrow to get out of war, to free ourselves from conflict. But then there's a trickle down. How does that relate to us? What is my point? I'll get to one of my points. In your infancy, as you grow up in America, naturally, America tries to give you debt. Think about it. When you're in high school, when you get ready to go off to college, the first thing that they throw at you are student loan opportunities. The first thing they throw at you are private loan opportunities so that you can go to a 4-year university, college, a 2-year school, whatever it is. In your infancy, just like America, when America came into its freedom and its infancy, there's a parallel there. So we are now faced with the opportunity to sign for thousands of dollars in debt because of going to school or whatever the case may be. And not only do they throw the student loans at you, but then they also throw the credit cards at you. How many people went to college? How many people were getting ready to go off to college and they were given the opportunity of student loans? Just put a hand up, put a yes in the group, in the comment section, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Facebook. Just put a hand up or a yes. How many people when getting ready to go off to college or in college, we're faced with student loan opportunities or given an opportunity to acquire credit card debt. And think about this. At that young age, how are you even able to mentally, good morning, Charlie Moon, how many people are mentally able to process, let's say your college is $25,000 a year. To go to that university, and of course that's cheap, now, universities are charging $40,000, $50,000 a year now. So imagine $25,000 worth of debt a year. After 4 years, that's $100,000. So we have people that have student loan debt from $50,000 to $100,000. And at a young age, you can't even process what that means. Because a young mind is thinking, well, if I have $50,000 worth of debt, I'm going to graduate college, this university, and I'm probably going to make about $100,000 a year because I've read in a book or I saw online that I make $100,000 a year in this profession. Yeah, not necessarily always in year one, maybe some years later down the line, but then we don't factor in the other bills and expenses that we have in life, whether it's family, kids, whatever it is. Servicing that debt, paying that monthly payment, we can't even factor that in as a child. There's no way to really, a young mind can factor in what that student loan debt was, what that credit card debt meant to us. And think about it. We are able to acquire debt. We are able to acquire loans at a young age in college, 18, 19, 20, and we don't even have a job. Who approved me for this? Why are you giving me debt and you have no idea whether or not I can pay it off, which happens even now. Anytime there's a conflict, anytime there is a disruption, anytime there is drama, America always borrows to try to get through. Oh my gosh, this is so good. America always borrows to try to get through and survive a situation. Whether I talk about 1776 or whether we talk about COVID in 2020, America always borrows its way through to get themselves free. Oh my goodness, please let this revelation hit you. If I wasn't sitting down, I think I'd be running. And that is your church commercial. Yep, I got my first credit card at 17. 17? Were you in college yet? Someone knocked on my, oh yeah, okay, she answered the question. Someone knocked on my dorm door with a short application and a t-shirt. Oh man, earlier I told you all, debt can be dangerous. It can control and manipulate your life. Manipulation, not with the t-shirt. And I don't have money, I'm taking the free t-shirt. And a t-shirt as a reward for signing up. SMH. I was going to pronounce SMH like a real word, but I ain't going to do that, y'all. I'm not that ignorant. And so you must understand, America in its infancy said, France, Netherlands, give us debt so that we can survive this problem. Every war, every time there is conflict or a disruption in America, we borrow money to get through. Oh, in America, society, people as a whole, it has trickled down the mentality that you have to borrow to survive, to get through, to maintain. And I want to ask everyone one question. How is it working for you? How is this mentality working for us? Is it effective? Is it beneficial? Think about your loved ones, your friends, your family, or even yourself and the different places and spaces that you were in when funds was tight. This debt has a lot of people already wrapped up like a mummy. And debt does not want you to get free. I want you all to really understand that there is a deeper situation happening when it comes to debt. Because you can choose to be the lender or you can choose to be the borrower. Catch what I'm saying. What mentality and beliefs do you have to be the lender? And who in America really just desires you to see the borrower? And why? Who would want you to be left in a borrowing state, knowing that as the borrower, it is not fruitful? As the borrower, when you're dealing with your personal debt and trying to get free from this personal debt, continue to wrap yourself up by borrowing your way out of situations, and you get deeper into the hole, just like the American economy, the national debt. Who would like to see you in that position? Because like Patricia Ford said earlier, it leaves you in the state of a slave. And so now you're stuck with a slave mentality. You're constantly working not to live, enjoy, and help, but you're in a situation where you're working just to pay. Oh my gosh, you're working just to pay someone so that you can survive. You're putting yourself in survival mode. And that's not a mode to live in. That's not sustainable. Anitra is replying to Pastor Christy Conyers' message saying they were set up in our student center. I think I got a cup. SMH. Shma. That's how I'm pronouncing it. So listen to what I'm saying, guys, on a serious note. I want you to understand debt is sent to control and manipulate you and wrap you up in some mummy wrap for a specific reason. There's a deeper purpose. You're servicing this debt to make other people financially successful. So what if you stop being the debtor and you start being the lender? People forget how to live. Here's my next point. I want you all to understand. People forget how to live and exist without debt. Most people have now, because you have to listen to the statistics. The credit card usage and debt in America is at an all-time high right now. It is ridiculous. It's at its worst. What does that mean? People have forgotten how to live, maintain themselves and their budget without using debt, without having to use their credit cards to survive from one month to the next. It is no longer normal to be able to pay for things in cash. When most people used to pay with their debit card or used to pay with cash, remember we used to have money on us? We have been desensitized by now swiping. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Every once in a while, I want you all to start waking yourselves up by going back, and this is going to sound ancient. Every once in a while, go to the ATM machine, pull $20 out, take it to the store, and give them some cash. Put some paper, $1 in their hand, and spend it that way, so that way you can always continue to have balance in your life. Although I know swiping, showing, screening, whatever, is very convenient. We have been desensitized. And so it's not as much as an emotional exchange that we have to see the number amount, leave our hand to someone else. It is a digital exchange. And like I told you all earlier, digital transactions, we are now acquiring debt through a digital transaction that is leaving us physically bound and enslaved. Once again, this is Coach Steele's Finance Training. If you're listening in, please, if you're listening in, share this information. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training. As we go through this, I want you to understand that paying for things in full, that concept, someone type in down there at the bottom for me the concept. Paying for things in full, paying for things in cash, whichever one you want. Just type in paying for things